Hey y'all, it's Hope here, bringing you Perspective with Hope. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I thank y'all for your support this far, and I just ask that you guys keep on supporting this process and this content. What's up, y'all? We have, y'all know me. I'm Hope. And this is my YouTube channel, Perspective with Hope. And we have our special guest today,
Ayana,
daughter. I call her daughter. How did that happen? I'm gonna adjust myself.
Honestly, I don't even know.
I think you just
You always gave mother vibe, like do this, do that. Like it was always, I don't know, it's always gave mother, like, hey mother, like
she started calling me mother. And so first of all, I am her former teacher.
mm-hmm.
She used to be my student from 9th grade to 12th, or
It was
you came
10,
later? 10th
it was
to
10
12th.
to 12. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about that because I'm having flashbacks now.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord, Ayana. A mess.
Look, no. I don't even want to go back to the high school days. That was a hot mess.
And you know what? You are not a bad kid, at least in my class, or at least, yeah, you are not a bad.
Personal things going on that I was fighting. Definitely. I was a hot mess in high school, but I was a quiet hot mess.
Okay. And she was so funny, and that's why I like the whole daughter vibe. And let's talk about this. I was a dance teacher. Ayana and dance. Talk about it.
I have 2 left feet. In dance, I cannot dance, but I tried my hardest. When it was time to perform,
she did.
I performed. I'm going to practice. I'm going to do my best. But my 2 left feet are always going to be there.
For sure. But she did good. And so now we are, well, I was always an adult, but I was just telling her like how interesting it was because I was 21 when I first started teaching, and I felt very much motherly, like I'm the boss here. And I did not give like we friends vibes at all.
Oh no,
I don't believe in that in any way. And so even like I forgot how close in age they were. So now that she's an adult, she got a daughter, a whole child, and it doesn't. It feels, she's talking about it still feels very motherly, but for me, it's like, okay, we homegirls because
homegirl.
We're just a couple years apart from each other.
And I still don't see it. She sees it, but I don't know.
Well, it's so weird. Like, I remember you as a child, literally, even though they thought they was grown. Okay. You can tell these kids nothing, but I really saw you as a child, and now to see you as an adult. First of all, I am very proud of you. Motherhood is not easy if you have not realized that.
I'm not.
And adulthood, I tell people, like, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's ghetto.
And I understand they say you want to be a kid forever, and you do.
I tried to warn them, okay? I tried.
Everybody tried to warn me. I thought I was grown.
And being grown is not fun. However, you are here. You are one of my continued supporters for our live Bible study. You hop on pretty much every morning and you engage. And so I appreciate that. But I am curious. You said this walk is new for you.
Yes.
What happened? How did we get here?
Okay. Well, honestly, growing up, I was in church, but I was a kid, didn't know nothing. I really didn't know anything about the Bible though.
Okay.
Growing up. But you know, my grandparents would take me, my mother grew up in different churches, my auntie and things like that. So one day I just realized I was fighting a lot of temptations, drinking, smoking, very depressed, very, don't know which way to go. And with that being said, it's like I knew there was a God, but I didn't too much believe,
Did you have a relationship? You don't think you had a relationship?
No.
Okay.
I definitely didn't. I can say it was a lot of spirits in me that I was fighting. Depression, anxiety, weariness, a lot of things. And it was just, it's just, sometimes you have to let things go.
Yeah.
You
For
have to
sure.
let things go, because if you keep on feeding into those spirits aren't going to do nothing but keep you into a deeper depression. I've even had thoughts, ending it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like God blessed me with my baby, and she's here for a reason, because I feel like without her, I definitely would have probably, I don't want to say crashed out,
Yeah.
but crashed
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So, and my mother, she has a different belief.
Okay.
She keeps saying, "Oh, you're just like me when I was young, heavy into God, into the Bible, going to church." And she was like, "I've learned more." And I don't really too much understand her more, but that's her belief. And I really didn't just believe in anything. It's like, why me? Why are things happening to me?
Yeah.
Why, and I understand why, because I'm not going in the right path.
Yeah.
I'm not in alignment with what God wants. I'm not knowing him. I'm not even knowing myself, honestly. Like, I lost myself.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, my mother has this belief, and I have thoughts, like, okay, let me try this out. Let me get to know God. Let me actually get to understand my own belief,
Yeah.
or, my own, belief, or how I believe in him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I was I was in the wrong group, wrong crowd. I was stealing a lot. I was um I was doing a lot of things that I have no business doing.
Mm-hmm.
And to fast forward, I came into, a prophet. I told you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I met a prophet. And we was just in there, and I was telling me, yeah, my baby, she's finna have surgery.
Did you know she was a prophet before?
No.
Okay.
Didn't know anything of it. My friend actually told me after the fact. So we was just in there. We was praying, because I was telling them how she was having surgery on her stomach. She had a little G tube, just closing the hole. So she was praying, and she looked at me, and she was like, it was like, it was a face, like it was a worried face, facial expression, like, I'm worried about you. And she was like, whatever you were doing, you have to change it. She says, you have to change it. You have to change it for your baby. You have a baby now. You can't do the same old things. And so she touched my hand. She grabbed my hand, and she said, what do you do with your hands? And mind you, I'm a nail tech. So I'm thinking, okay, she's going to tell me something about my business.
Yeah.
Okay, boom, boom. No. No, she looked at me, and she said, I don't know if this is towards you, or if you're doing it now, but she said you were stealing. I said, huh? I just busted out crying. It's like every time I just think about it, it's like, wow, like, I always have to go back to that. When I feel like I'm losing faith, I always go back to that moment, because it's like, this lady doesn't know me from a can of paint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know her. This is my first time ever meeting her. For her to touch my hand and say, you were stealing, and you have to stop. And this was in the beginning of me, trying to get close to him, learning. Yeah. So I didn't already stopped, but for her to even just say that to me, like, wow, like, God is real, and he actually brings people in your life.
And you know what I get out of that? God doesn't miss any. God sees you. Mm-hmm. He knows what you're doing. He knows what's in your heart. And he uses us to communicate to people. Mm-hmm. But it's just a recognition of, like, you probably thought that you was just doing your thing. Yeah. And, I'm not going to get caught, or whatever the case is. But God saw you, and he had to put a stop to it. But not only that, you said you had stopped already. Mm-hmm. But if that moment did not happen, who says that you wouldn't have got back into it? Or that thing, that conversation was the thing that truly stops you. And every time you think about it, mm-hmm. Okay, I remember this moment. God sees me, and I can't keep doing that.
No, seriously. And I can say, God isn't the only one that just blesses you. Satan can too.
Mm-hmm. Girl, you...
Like, no, like, seriously, Satan can too. Like, I was doing things like, yeah, I'm getting this, and I'm getting money out of it. Like, I'm seeing the money coming. It's piling up. Okay, cool. But That is not what God wanted. I'm just it, entertaining the devil.
Yeah.
Honestly, dancing with him. I don't want to say I was, but I was. I was dancing with the devil. I was
Yeah.
having fun. I didn't know no better. So when she told me that, it was like, okay, I'm going in the right path. Let me keep going.
Yeah.
Don't let me go back. So yeah, that's what got me into it really strong now. But I can say now that I've been getting closer to him, there's still temptations being fought for sure. And being, I'm young crowd, still trying to get to not know me, but get to know other people too that has the same belief or trying to get closer to him as well. Because I feel like if you have that community, it will keep you going.
That's true. It'll help you press in, and that's why. So, well, that's why I think it's so important that, okay, I was your former teacher, but now God put a very clear calling on my life. It's my duty to keep guiding students or people like you that I have developed connections and relationships with, because eventually you're going to go out into the world and someone's going to need that testimony.
Yeah.
Someone's going to need your guidance, your spiritual gifts, all the different things. And so while we are doing this on the screen per se, we're committed to living life together so that we can help each other, because realistically, when I was teaching, I feel like when I first started, I know God put me there, but I was still very much young. I can't remember how old I was with you. I had to be, because I was pregnant your senior year. So it had to be about 23 to 25 years old or something like that. But I was fairly young.
You know what's crazy?
What?
I never knew your age.
You never knew my age?
I don't ask people. I don't just, too much worry about it.
Girl, because y'all, them kids be nosy.
No. I was never the nosy kid.
Yeah.
I was just there to, have laughs, giggle a little bit. But I never just really knew your age.
So I was about 22, 23, 4, 5 in that age range when you knew me as a teacher. But I knew God was definitely in my life, and I was having my struggles too. I was young. Best believe at 23, I was doing all kind of different things. But when I was in that classroom, it helped me stay accountable, keep myself accountable, because I don't want to lead y'all in the wrong direction. I remember, which would be so funny, and it's a part of the days where I was very judgmental. But kids would be like, when you gonna have a baby? I'm like, I'm not married. Yeah. Why are you asking me that? Like, can I get married first? I'll have a whole attitude and look at me.
Had two
kids before marriage. And it's just, I learned so much being a teacher, but I see the connection now, like literally in this moment of like, now that I am a teacher of God's word and I have this heavy responsibility, how that was preparing me for this to help people, because I just wasn't perfect at 21, baby. Yeah. I was walking with God and I had a relationship, but it was more, I was skating on the line, like, trying to do this and that, but still worship God. And I can sit here today. You can't have both.
You can't. And honestly, I was the YOLO girl. I was you only live once. Like, that's what they promote. That's what we, normalize. Like, you only live once, but you got to realize it's a life after this. Honestly, so it's like you gotta let go of that YOLO.
Yeah, you only live once, but baby, you live with Christ for eternity. And you have to make that choice. Do I want to live this one time and do all the things that I think I want to do and spend eternity in agony, or do I want to live the life that God called me to live so that I can be in eternity with Him?
Yeah, I definitely understand that, because this world, we normalize a lot.
Too
much. Like, even the little small things, like even with the TV shows and
girl, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm it's a journey for me. I'm slowly, coming away from it, But I definitely feel those spirits when I watch those shows now, for sure.
And I have to, like, even myself, no one's perfect. I went on a fast of secular. I don't listen to secular music anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was definitely fasting secular TV. Now I do like the other day I was watching Love Is Blind, okay?
Okay.
And I understand now that the devil does use all of these different opportunities to try to reel you back into a specific lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So I try to watch, if I do watch something, I'm very cautious. And like we talked about today in Bible study, mm-hmm. being spiritually awake or being alive in Christ, you're aware of those schemes and you're aware, you have more awareness so you can pray about it. But a lot of times when you're unaware, that stuff is influencing your mind.
No, seriously. And I can say in the beginning of my journey, I stopped smoking. It was about 3 weeks.
Okay.
No, I was feeling good. And then I was slowly, gradually coming back into those, not just smoking heavy like I was, but okay, I'm gonna hit it once and I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then I noticed it was starting to become a problem. Like I'm smoking it more and more. So when you come in contact with people that does it and you're around it, you tend to, okay, it won't hurt. It won't be a problem. But then in the back of my head, okay, this is not what God wants. This is not, this is not in alignment with him. But you have to be real sometimes. Like in your journey, it's not easy. It's not peaches and cream at all. You still have a worldly life around you. You have people that still condemned into this world. So you're gonna see it on your phone, social media.
Everywhere.
Social media, they see you like one thing, they gonna fill you up with more. They're like, oh Lord, like.
But isn't that such a great analogy? Like you watch that one thing or you listen to that one song and how the devil will. Because here's the thing. You have memories of the life you used to live. Mm-hmm. It doesn't just fade away.
It doesn't.
You don't stop. The memories don't just disappear. Mm-hmm. So that one little TV show that shows you something that resembles the lifestyle you used to have can then allow a flooding of memories, and you start missing the lifestyle. You start thinking about like, oh, I remember when and what this looked like and felt like. And then you get tempted, and now you back into it.
Right. And see, with me, I haven't just, no. I just gradually, it was with the smoking, but with the drinking, I can't drink no more. A shot can't see me. I drink a little, a little cutesy drink, a little lemon drop or something, but a shot cannot see me anymore. I don't really too much go out. It's not something I just, I'm ready to go out. Let's go. It's like when you've done it so much and for so long, it's like, can we do something else?
Please.
Can we exempt?
Let me read this. It's Ephesians chapter 4, verse 17 through, let's go to 19. But it says, so I tell you this and insist on it in the Lord, that you must no longer live as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their thinking. They are darkened in their understanding and separated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to the hardening of their hearts. Having lost all sensitivity, they have given themselves over to sensuality so as to indulge in every kind of impurity, and they are full of greed. Mm-hmm. It's like it just makes you want more and more and more. And I think when I look back over my life in moments where I was indulging in sin, I would want more and more and more. And the crazy thing is the more that I would receive, the emptier I felt.
Yeah. You definitely, it's like once it's over, you're back to
the reality.
Like,
whatever it is.
I'm depressed again.
Yeah.
And it's like you're feeding into that spirit, like, okay, I'm finna get a drink because I feel like this. I don't want to feel like this no more. I'm finna, go out, go have, because I don't want to feel like this no more. But sometimes you have to say, hey, let me talk to God about it. Let me go to him first instead of going to that drink or to that,
Because ideally, all it is making you feel numb. And I think in my mind, what I'm thinking of right now is like, you can only get so numb until you really feel the full weight of your death. It's almost like the devil wants you to numb yourself with weed, with drinking, with different things, food, TV, music, whatever it is, distracts you so much so that you can't even feel yourself dying spiritually. And then one day you wake up and you realize you are so far gone, you are so far separated from Christ. Now God, not God, now the devil has you in bondage, thinking that you are so far gone that you can never find your way back.
Yes.
And I can never come alive again.
Right.
But let me tell y'all now, that is a straight up lie. You are not too far gone. God is right there waiting for you to just come into him, and he will guide you and protect you and lead you back to life in him.
He will.
You know?
Definitely. And I can say, no. I just wish people would be more serious about it, because the Bible is literally unfolding in front of us. I seen a post about that and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, it's literally unfolding in front of us and nobody is taking it serious. Like, even, with the elections and things, people are feeding into that.
Yeah.
People are feeding into so much and it's so crazy. Like, y'all got to think about y'all need to pick up this Bible and see what's really finna happen.
Yeah.
This presidential election and all that, that's just something slight. There's more to come, you know?
And there's a lot of things we can't see because we're so distracted. And the reality is, when you listen, so the funny thing is, when I go back home with my mama, I don't watch the news. I'm not interested. I just don't. And when I go back home, that's all that's on the television, CNN, whatever it is, the news. And when you start listening to it and just really paying attention, there's so much, they're driving people with fear. Yeah. I remember, especially when COVID was happening, I know this is a sensitive topic, but I was here in Texas living, going out, seeing things, right? Yes, things were not ideal, but when I went to Delaware and I was watching the news, I was like, was I not just in the way they made Texas sound? Like, this place, like red, cold red, like, do not go to Texas. Right. These people in Texas is dropping like flies. And I'm like, well, I was just there. Right. That ain't what's happening. That's not what it looks like.
And they do that on purpose. They want you to be fearful. They want you to feed into what they're giving you.
And not only that, they want you to change your character because, and this is what I'm so, I don't want to say the word conflicted, but spiritually, I've watched what this election has done to the way people even think about individuals, right? Yeah. Of course, it's the goal is to drive division. But if I, as a Christian, I am feeding into this and I am consuming it and I am letting it get into my spirit. If anything that you are watching or indulging in is causing you to be not loving to your neighbor, I don't care what their belief system is. I don't care who they with. If it's causing you to speak ill and death on people, and I'm not talking like, but some people are, extreme and, I hope you die. But I'm talking, if you're not speaking life and love into that person, you might need to check yourself and your heart posture and your relationship with God, because God calls us above everything is to love. Yes. To love your neighbor.
Definitely. And you have to love in order as well. You have to love him first. Okay. Love thy neighbor.
Okay.
And then, love yourself. Yeah. Love your kids.
I do think it is. Well, I think when it comes to love, and we can look this up biblically. I wish I had my computer with me, but
we got.
Oh, you got. Okay.
Hold on, we got all the notes.
I do believe God, self, then others. I don't know. You tell me what that says. What does it say in the Bible? Because I do. And then when it comes to service, you got to serve others. You have to put others above you. And people think that is very simp behavior and like you weak, But I promise you, when I serve, it makes you, it shifts your heart posture. It softens your heart, and it makes you have compassion for others.
Definitely. Definitely. And I don't know if I'm saying it wrong. Hey, Galatians.
Galatians.
Look, Hey, I'm not good at pronouncing, but Galatians 5:22, I believe that was 22.
Let me
I
pull it up
believe.
too.
I don't look. I'm new to this. Okay,
New to this, but it's okay because this is the
but
point.
I write it down.
We are learning.
But it say, but the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self control. Against such there is no law. Love is an intense feeling of deep affection, is what we have written down. And with that, I believe people say they know love, but don't actually know the definition of love because they don't show it. You have to be able to be gentle to people. Even though somebody, makes you mad, pisses you off or something like that, at the end of the day, it's so much things that's going on in this bigger in this world. You can't let it affect you. Love them, pray for them.
You don't have the way you treat people because
Yes.
it like, and then like I was saying earlier, if you really realize there's so much spiritual warfare going on, that person may have an attitude. Baby, there's something driving that beyond themselves. There's something that is not only rooted in them. A lot of people go through traumas or different things that the devil uses to steer people in different directions. But it's not as simple as this person has an attitude. And when you realize that, first of all, are you praying for that person?
Right.
That person that you're in opposition with. Are you praying for the president? Are you praying for each individuals? I don't care what party they're in, because regardless of what happens, and they are chosen, whoever's chosen to lead this nation, they need to do it with God. And so we should be in community and in prayer with and for these people, that they would not only guide us in the right direction, but they be convicted in their spirit about how they are leading their people.
See, and honestly, they're not ever going to get that idea. You got to think they know way more than we do. So they think I feel like the government, they feel like they're past God, honestly.
I think to some extent, but our God can change anything.
He sure can, but they are feeding these presidents as well as they feed us. We're feeding into their buffoonery. Like, even with the elections and with the celebrities and the performing, and it's all a distraction.
All of it.
You got Megan twerking and dancing while she's supposed to give a speech, and it's like,
when I saw
we're feeding into them too.
When I saw that, I said, "Oh no."
Hot mess.
Is this real?
A hot mess.
And people are like, yeah, no. Are we watching this?
No.
Do you see what is happening? And my simple question about everything, I was reading someone's post. They had a question about conviction and how they felt that it was really silly to even ask about this conviction of a TV show.
Right.
And the reality is, baby, does what you are looking at, does it serve God or does it serve the devil?
No.
Does it glorify God or does it glorify the devil? If it is, it's no in between. No in between. So twerking and doing all the things. Now, I used to be there, okay?
Definitely. I'm young, so when I seen it, it was like, okay, another distraction. But to each his own. That's what they like. That's what's getting them going. And it's not healthy in a way, if you think of it mentally. Honestly, it's mentally not healthy.
Yeah.
And these presidents are driving these people into something
they're not pointing them to life.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're not pointing people to life.
Yeah, that.
And even though, and one thing that I think is so important is, at the end of the day, we're all human. And like I said yesterday, let's take an inventory of our life. Look at your lifestyle. If someone was following you 24 hours a day, would your lifestyle point them to Jesus or would it point them to Satan?
Right.
Simple. Right. And so we all have areas in our lives that we can improve on. And I think the bigger, not the bigger issue is, but we can't make these people idols.
You can't.
We can't make these things idols, because at the end of the day, who is supposed to be the head of our lives?
Man, I see that. That's a huge problem in this world, though, making other people our idols. Even watching, you know, the baddies, Natalie show.
Oh
So
my.
I see these girls crying over it. Like, I want this so bad. I want this. And it's like, why don't you feel that way about God?
Ooh,
like,
Jesus.
no, seriously, like, they pleading, like, I want this. I've been here all day. I want this bad. But what you think she can give you, God can give you. If you need
So
some
much
money,
more.
baby, pray about it. Pray about your finances. It's nothing. It's like, we're going to go through things, but making people your idols and, oh, I love them so much. I do. Even like with Beyonce, she has
Ooh.
been a huge like topic. Like, and now like getting like older and watching little podcasts about it, even with Jackie Hill Perry.
Girl, let me tell you.
Love me some Jackie Hill Perry. And when she was explaining that, I was like, okay, which? And then what's crazy, I seen a video pop up of I can't think of her name. She does interviews. Tasha K. I don't know if you know her. She's very messy. But she did an interview with another so-called witch, but she was like, yeah, Beyonce is a witch. I forgot what she said. She like what it was. It was a name. It was a certain name for it. But I was like, wow. And she's saying it in these songs.
Oh, it's very evident.
It's clear. Like this new music she has, it's clear like, oh, Beyonce. Even like with Lemonade, I didn't realize it was, oh, Beyonce.
Let me tell you, I'm not one to, when I scroll, especially if I'm looking at people's stories, I typically don't look at longer videos. Like, you know how you have to tap on it to view more? I normally don't do that. And so when I was seeing Jackie Hill Perry, people kept reposting it and saying, most people were saying negative things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what is she talking about? Because it just kept coming up. And I said, okay, let me look at this. Okay. Not realizing I was being led by the Holy Spirit in that moment. But I looked at it and I listened to it. And when I tell you the Holy Spirit came over me so strong, and I was strongly convicted. That was the start of me not listening to secular music anymore.
Right.
Because I could, when I tell you I felt it from head to toe. Jackie wasn't just talking. She was being led by the Holy Spirit, and I received so much confirmation from it. Does the music glorify God or does it glorify Satan? It's that simple. I don't care how it makes you feel. I don't care about the beat. You know, I'm a dancer. I love good music. Now I am very conscious about what music I select, because realistically, when I do choreograph, it is going to be of the secular nature. But if it is promoting anything other than goodness, we just can't do it. We just can't do it.
Honestly, we can't.
We can't. And I have a duty now. You know, I'm not that 21-year-old that knew something was going on spiritually with me. I'm someone, I am fully awake. I am fully aware of my calling. We just can't do it.
We can't.
And Beyonce, and I don't know how we even got to this point in this conversation.
Idols.
It's idolization. And it's dangerous, because you're telling me that this music is more important than your soul.
No, seriously.
Being with God for eternity.
Right.
And people like that saying of like, oh, it's not that deep. Baby, you're telling me your soul, if your soul wasn't that deep, the devil wouldn't be fighting so hard for it.
Honestly, if you were honestly closer with God and you listen to the music, you, like how you said, you will feel it like
it's just not right.
Ooh, like it was this one song by Future. I was listening to Diamonds. I don't know if you know that song, but when I heard
Diamonds dancing it.
Yeah, like but when I heard it, it was like, it's kind of a little demonic. Like when you hear it, it was like, and what's crazy is people are talking about his new music now. And I've been said this when I heard Diamonds, when I was, getting
it's not new.
It's like
they've been on this trip.
I'm talking his little new album.
Yeah, but I'm saying like what they're saying that is demonic.
Because he said something about rhyme with Satan.
So baby, now y'all Diamonds came out. That was years ago. What I'm saying is they've been introducing you to satanic influence. that ain't new. Y'all are catching it now because a lot of people are starting to wake up to that fact. But the reality is, Beyonce didn't just magically get into this. This has been a process, just like, we're going through our spiritual process with the Lord.
Right.
Like you said, Lemonade, I caught it. I didn't catch it until a couple albums later. I don't even know what. I don't listen to her anymore, but I didn't catch it then. But like you said, it was evident in Lemonade, and it's been evident. It's always been there. We just haven't been paying attention, or we've been distracted, or we've been more concerned about how we feel in our flesh. Da 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 da. It's been very clear. A lot of these musicians have satanic influence. A lot of them are dealing with demonic oppression. A lot of them are being held hostage because of things that they've done, things that they may be ashamed of, rituals that they've committed, coming into agreement willingly with these things. And people don't realize that you're mouthing these words, you're saying these things, you're coming into agreement with it. And their idea is to distract you so much that you don't even know you're coming to agreement with it. So now I don't know why I'm depressed. I don't know why I'm anxious. I don't know why I keep having this sexual appetite. I don't know why I'm drawn to these men and I keep getting into these relationships that end in me having to compromise who I am. You don't know why, but let me tell you, it's because you've come into agreement through your music and what you're saying out of your mouth,
Definitely. And I can say the tongue is very powerful. The tongue is very powerful. So whatever you speak out, come out, it's gonna happen.
Whether you're doing it intentionally or not.
No, seriously. And some things you think is very small or it doesn't matter. Oh, it's okay. No, it's not. And I'm still learning. Honestly, I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm just the holiest or
Baby.
I'm still learning. I'm young. This is a journey. So not everything is perfect, but sometimes you realize things. And when you realize those things, it's your choice to stop it.
Yeah.
Or to,
and I think a lot of people realize, you realize it. Just if we were to just simply pull up a lyric, right? I can't even think of anything right now, but you pull up a lyric baby, okay, here we go. On my demon time, baby, what are we talking about? Do we use that word lightly? The way we feel about Harry Potter, and I was convicted on that, so I've been convicted on a lot of different things. Harry Potter.
Ooh, Stranger Things. That I can't tell a story. That's a good show, but it's very satanic. If you just really just watch it and what they're talking about, it's like, oh,
because who you calling on and what you doing?
Oh, like seriously, but it's crazy how a show would draw you in.
Oh yeah,
and you will binge watch it even with American Horror Story.
Ooh!
Loved it, and I just had to come like.
But you know what's crazy? Because this is how we deal with it. Love American Horror Story. But actually, my favorite one is with Angela Bassett, The Covenant, right? Covenant. I think it was like season 2, season 3 with the witches.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's my favorite one with the witches.
Favorite one, but baby, I had to come out of agreement with that. And what's crazy is when I watched season 1, I started having demonic attacks, but I never really paid attention. Like I watched it all the way until it just started getting stupid.
And I was pregnant when I was watching it, binge watching this.
Now you know it's funny.
I wasn't thinking nothing of it because I loved it. Like, oh my gosh, it was just okay.
What you doing?
Okay, all right.
No, but that's crazy. But I remember when I was pregnant with Kingsley, and I was watching what's that show? With what's that girl? That light skinned girl. It's on HBO, and she was a drug addict.
I couldn't tell you.
Euphoria.
Oh, yeah.
Baby, that very first episode, and she was talking to her mama crazy. I said, I got to turn this off because my child will not hear this and think that this is okay.
And I was watching. It's crazy. A lot of these shows that you bring, it will draw you in. And then you'll realize, like, when you are in your in your journey or in your path, whatever you're doing, you realize like, man, I was really feeding into this spirit.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I could say it's in your home too as well. As long as you kept feeding it, it's spirits in your home.
Yep.
You have to clean those spirits as well.
Cast them out, baby, because I'll never forget. I was watching. They say it's not about Beyonce, but it was clearly about Beyonce. I think it was called Swarm.
Girl, I ain't even watch it. I said that Tubi looking movie. I said, girl, don't make me mad. You know, doggone well that's about Beyonce.
It's about Beyonce. Now, let me tell you this. Because there's a scene, and I didn't even know about the scene until I woke up the next day.
Mm-hmm.
But I was binge watching it in the house, and I fell asleep. And in my dream, so I have encounters or I have things that happen,
Mm-hmm.
but in my dream specifically, a witch entered my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Not no like, oh, I'm imagining. No, this is a real witch entered my dream,
Mm-hmm.
and she begins talking to me, and we're standing over some water, like we're in a forest or whatever, and there's this body of water, but it's small enough to where we can be walking around it. Mm-hmm. And so we're kind of walking around it like this. Mm-hmm. And she's looking at me almost like we're in a duel or something. I don't know. And she starts asking me about my relationship with God, but in a testing manner of like, are you really with God type of energy.
Right.
And at first I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to entertain it because I don't want to be drawn into this conversation. Okay. So it's like almost like we're in a duel. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not going to indulge with this. But then I was like, you know what? You're not going to I don't have a reason to fear you.
Right.
And it was almost like I was afraid that she would draw me into what she wanted me to, you know, to the doubt or whatever. And so I was like, you know what? And so I came back at her. Like, this is my God. Yeah. I stand firm in that, and I believe that you cannot get me off course. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, it was kind of like like she could see that I couldn't be tempted or I couldn't be deceived. And so that was the end of the dream. But when I woke up the next morning, I was like, because it was very much real. Yeah. And so I was like, well, what did I fall asleep to? And so I go back and I rewind, and about the same time I fell asleep, or while I was asleep, the episode that was playing, there were witches in the episode, but they were doing casting spells. Mm. And I think that we underestimate, like, oh, it's just a TV show or whatever. Those were real spells, because you can't tell me that those spells that they were saying did not invite this witch into my home and into my mind and into my dream. Right.
It's crazy they put stuff, witchcraft,
all over the place. And I just remember like growing up watching Buffy the Vampire or Charm, girl. You could
now
Charm, baby.
Charm for sure.
Was my show.
Yeah, I watched that for sure.
So we're watching all this stuff and coming into agreement with these things and opening gates into our home, portals into our home for these dark entities to enter. We got to cast all that out. We got to come out of agreement with it. Like, no.
No, seriously. But with that though, yeah. It's a lot of spirits coming through your TVs and things like that.
Your music.
Yeah, and I can say it's in your home too as well. I don't want to just, put my mama out there, but she's into the crystals. Oh. She's in. That's why I say I feel like it's a lot of warfare going in our house anyway. That's probably why I'm probably feeding to a temptation or something like that, because it's like my mama do those worldly things. Still, drink, smoke, go out, and yeah, she's heavy into the crystals. And I don't know how you will feel about this, but some people say that women are the one who created. They said it was scribes that was taken out of the book, and it was a story about the women. Right, and she read into that, and that's what made her switch into this. But she says, I do believe there is a God. There is a God, but she's still into the crystals.
But which God? And I think something I talked about earlier on one of my posts was that I was in a relationship with someone that prayed to God, and he was really into his crystals and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the reality is,
because I'm thinking, okay, God, because you know God. Okay, I love God too. Like, God, you pray to God, I pray to God too.
Right.
But who is your God? And someone had to ask me, Hope, okay, he's praying, but who is he praying to?
Right.
Because people do serve false gods.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're thinking, oh, God. Is your God the God of this universe?
Right.
Is your God the one who sent his only son to die for our sins and our transgressions? Is your God the one who placed the Holy Spirit in us to live and dwell in us? If it's not that, if it's them little guys, the same thing with Beyonce. If it's the little guys that y'all be talking about, that ain't what I want, because they're not the one true God.
Exactly, and God is a jealous God for sure. He for sure is a jealous God, and she so much believe that Christians, or us, we believe that we're not supposed to know magic. We're not supposed to, and I feel like we're not. Like, God's supposed to,
be our everything.
Our everything, literally. Like, we're supposed to embody him, honestly, when we walk into this world. So it's like, for you to still want to be into the witchcrafts, and like, who are you asking? God isn't finna just let you use a little pendulum and he gonna answer yes and no. That's not him.
Ooh, baby.
And I would tell my mama, oh Lord, you're opening a lot of portals in this house. And it's like, even with the sage and everything, like, it's still continuing. And I'm still living in it. So it's like, that's what I'm fighting.
You know what? This is a good conversation, because I know someone too that lives in a home where this is where I have to be.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And where I am living, portals have been opened. And even in this household, there is a known spirit in there. But we all know that spirits, when you die and you go with the Lord, you're with the Lord. You're not here. So the reality is, y'all can be like, oh, it's just a little spirit. Baby, who is that? And what is that?
No,
and what
for
they
real.
want?
Who are you answering? God doesn't just answer like that. He finna put you through something first. Or even trials, or he's not finna just, oh, this is the answer.
He's gonna prepare you. He's gonna get you to where you need to be.
It's gonna be a process.
The devil wants you to want and have this lifestyle. They call it the microwave generation, but he wants you to be like, okay, let me get this, da 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 da. You can have it for the price of your soul. Is it worth it?
No, because it's the devil. Satan only wants it to be him.
Yeah.
So he's gonna feed you. He's gonna reel you in. And once he reel you in and he don't want nothing to do with you anymore, you're out of luck. Honestly, like, example, Diddy, or he was really him in. He said, I got you. You can have whatever. You got this, you got this, you got that. And then it was like, all right, you in jail. That's how I look at it. Like, the stuff that is going on, I kind of like matching with it, because it's like,
it's going, because you can only, at the end of the day, wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong.
For sure.
I don't care what it is. Yes, that is just so extreme what he got going on. Very much extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But every form of sin, God does not say that this sin is worse than the other. Every sin leads to death. Yes, every single one of them. And so as we are working to live life with God, and become alive in Christ, we're called to die to ourselves and die to those temptations and those things. And that is a process. But that is when you just keep pressing in. Like you said, are we perfect? Absolutely not. We all fall short of the glory of God. We all miss the mark. But is his grace so that we can keep doing it, or is his grace so that we can get back on track and live the life that he's called us to live?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Totally agree.
Girl, we done went in. I love
this.
No,
seriously.
I didn't. So this is funny because, when you're with a younger part, we're not that far in age, but just these conversations, bringing up, like, I would have never guessed we would have went in those directions. But I think that what's important here is, when you're young and the world is so easily accessible,
yes,
and it's more popular to rock with Satan. At the end of the day, that is what it is. It's more popular to rock with Satan than it is to rock with God. it's difficult to see the truth, and it's difficult to want to see the truth, because really the truth is in your face all day long. You pull up any song from one of your playlists and look at those lyrics. Does it glorify God or not? And it's not about like the I not particularly listen to gospel music, but I'm not saying that your music it has to have like, oh God, glory, glory. But if that music is promoting you to be on demon time, is it for God or is it for the devil?
Right.
If it's promoting you to have sex out of wedlock, is it for God or is it for the devil? If it's promoting you to be on drugs and do things and numb your pain and go deeper into whatever it is you're into, is it from God or is it from Satan? And that's the reality.
It is.
We got to look at it that way.
We definitely do. And I don't think everyone looks at it that way.
They don't.
I mean, God, we're living in this world. We normalize too much. It's all about the normalizing. What's going on? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a flex to, want to get to know God or be close to Him. This is a flex to me, because it's like you want to live in this world your whole life.
Yeah.
You don't want to get to know who your Creator was, or get an understanding. Because me, I didn't know anything about the Bible. I didn't know a name. I mean, I knew the names, the basics, Moses, Mary.
Yeah.
I knew the names, but I didn't know what Moses did.
Yeah.
I didn't really know.
Sure, how many of y'all have read the book of Habakkuk? Yeah, no, got into these prophets. You know what I mean?
For real, like, you have to get into it, because I didn't know none of these people. I didn't know who Pharaoh was. Okay, Pharaoh, you did your big one. You did your big one. Okay. And because I'm reading it in order.
Okay.
So I was in Genesis. I didn't really too much understand it too much, because I was doing this on my own. So I'm just trying to get somewhat knowledge, at least know the people, because I said I'm gonna go back and read Genesis now that and then I went on to Exodus, and Exodus, I don't know, it drawn me in.
That's good.
No, like, seriously, it was like, it definitely is like a deliverance. He's getting his people, but it's like you have this hard-headed Pharaoh, so you know what, I'm finna show you. And it's like you still being disobedient, so I'm finna show you more. This finna be death.
Yeah.
Death is finna come. So it's like when I when I read that, it was like I felt like I was Pharaoh.
Yeah.
It's like with the stealing. Hey, police then came and it's like, okay, Ayana, stop. But no, I kept going. Next job, lost that job, because it was they called me. It was like, okay, cool. Then this last job, it was like. So this is what I was doing. I was, fake scanning, ringing the stuff up. And I was getting things from people for, just doing. So I'm thinking, oh, this is a blessing. God looking, no. No, He is not looking out for you. So that made me realize. And then when I got my phone stolen, I think that's what, like, okay, Ayana, sit down. Cause it's like all this stuff you're stealing. That's what it really was. Me fighting it, stealing, drinking, and smoking. That was my biggest issues. And I had to realize you have to get out of that at some point. So when I was in Exodus, and I was just like, oh man, I kind of feel like Pharaoh, because he kept trying to show me. And if I keep going down this path, it's gonna lead to death.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Real talk.
So it's like, and then when I heard the song "Deliver Me." I don't know if you ever heard it, but when they was like, "This is my Exodus."
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was like, like it just all, came together, and I was like, yeah, Exodus is my favorite right now.
Okay.
Because I haven't just.
I don't hear that too often. Okay?
No, for real, Exodus is my favorite, honestly.
At my church right now, we're walking through Exodus. We've been walking through Exodus for a while now. And so I think that the first couple of chapters are kind of difficult, but God will reveal things to you. Like when I was reading Exodus, it showed me that just every detail matters to God.
Yes, everything.
That's what I got out of it. But also I wanted to say this. So when you overcome the big things, right? And I think I find it as like distractions from who you really are, because smoking, drinking, stealing, those are what you would consider the bigger things. But once you overcome that, God will start revealing the smaller things.
Yes.
And he wants to redeem even the smallest of your sins or your transgressions or the things, the temptations, the things that you deal with. Because now that I've gotten over, my big thing was lust and sex. That was my really big thing. And once I got over that, God started revealing to me, okay, you're a little judgmental. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a little impatient in these areas, and they're not huge areas, but ma'am, you're impatient with your children.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you've gotten over these big things that were keeping you from focusing on me. But now that I have your attention, let's dive deeper and let's unpack why when this person calls, you get an attitude. Or,
right.
Let's unpack
let's
all
work
of
on
this.
You.
Yeah.
Now that we have worked on you think was big, let's work on
the
you.
Flesh.
I
let's
can say that
like
like with my attitude or just being gentle with, even when I told you with my baby father, I was a little, aggressive, a little, you get on my nerves, you so many names. But I had to realize like you have to be gentle because you don't know how they grew up.
Yeah.
And when I realized how he did grow up, it was like, okay, he can't really just talk to them too much. He can't just really, because they always nagging at him.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm adding on to it. I'm nagging at him, and I did have to apologize after where I like, oh,
look at God.
I'm sorry. I have to be a bigger person. But when you do get closer to him, it makes you realize you do have to be gentle. Is my biggest one. You have to be gentle. You have to handle people with care. Because as soon as you snap at someone, you don't know what they've been through that in their day. Even if they snapped at you, you don't know. I know it's hard, but you can kindly like, hey, I'm not finna let your negativity get in my way or whatever you have going on. I would just remove myself.
Yeah.
And remove yourself. That's all you have to do. But yeah.
Because the reality is when they see the way you respond and that you respond with gentleness, they can now receive whatever it is that you have to say. They can now see or become curious like, oh, wow, I know. Let me check myself. I know I was a little out of hand, but she was so kind to me. Like,
right.
And now that they might want to just engage with you.
And my baby father, I think he think it be sarcasm because he's so used to it. But no, when I say, hey, love, have a good day, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being for real.
Yeah.
Love, have a good day.
Yeah.
I don't want to argue with you, even like with just little things. Like, say when she come home from her day, I see little things like, hey, can we, change this, fix this? It feel like I'm nagging to him still, but it's like, hey, I'm trying to come to you at a different way because the old me would have snapped.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, you're not getting my baby no more, none of that. But it's like, you have to mature, you have to grow up.
Yeah. And
it's about growing up. You have to grow.
God wants.
Yes.
Look at you grown up. Yeah.
Yes,
oh my God. That's crazy.
Ma'am.
Well, I thank you for having this God conversation with me.
Welcome.
Yeah, just diving in and talking about topics I didn't think we were gonna talk about, girl. Look at you.
I'm a little nervous. I don't really talk. So if you see me, drifting off of I don't really talk. I don't like talking. But I said I would do it. Get out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. Try new things. Interact with people.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you for bringing baby girl, and I appreciate your patience. She is being
for real. She's being so patient.
Because I'd have been like, okay, mama, come on.
She would have. I'm surprised she not loud talking. But she did good. I know that's right.
Okay, well, thank you, girl. I hope that this helps you guys. If you enjoyed this, make sure you go like, share, comment, subscribe, all of the different things. Join us for live Bible study every day. Well, not every day, but Monday through Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We get together, we build community, different things. So reach out to me, talk to me. I would love to engage with you all.
Yes, Miss Life Coach.
That's right. And I'm a life coach, so if you need help finding out your purpose and putting together a plan for your life that is in alignment with God, holla at me. All right, y'all have a good day. Bye.
Bye.